every game you're going to get the team's best effort. They're going to come out energy. And are you guys matching that? And if not, what? They said you had a 6-hour practice. I mean, are you trying to get that?
It wasn't a 6-hour practice, 6-hour day.
Okay.
So no.
But the energy, I mean, are you guys matching that energy? If not, what?
We didn't match it at all. You guys watched the game. We didn't have any energy. We were flat as could be. That's after a pretty good week of practice too. Yeah, that was, I believe it's the exception and the anomaly, but yeah, it was awful. And when you say we're awful, that sometimes takes credit away from the other team, and I don't mean to do that at all, but certainly we didn't play with any energy at all, I don't think, for the first 25 minutes of that game.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at Flory and Ryland's minutes, and obviously you didn't like what you saw last game with them. What are you kind of hoping to see in this coming game to kind of warrant the amount of minutes that they want to play and they've played the last couple of years?
To warrant the amount of minutes that they want to play.
Ryland and AJ.
Oh,
sorry, I didn't mean to say.
Yeah, I to warrant. I don't, I don't know that there's a thought process for me that warrants guys to play so much. I just want to play the guys that in my opinion give us the best chance to play well and give us the best chance to win the game. So in that particular situation, I probably didn't think in the 25 combined minutes they played that we really got much out of either one of them in that particular situation. So.
And you mentioned playing the three bigs more. Will we see more Flory and Hunter together, or Flory and KJ together?
Well, we've seen Flory and KJ together, and we've seen KJ and Hunter together. We just haven't seen Flory and Hunter together much. But to answer your question, yes, I think we could see more of that. We just got to figure out how to score that playing that way. But yeah, I think we could definitely see more of that. I thought Flory had a great last 15 minutes of the game. First half, I didn't think so at all. But I thought the second half he was really good. Really played well.
Are there any other games in recent years where you've had a great week of practice leading up where it hasn't shown up the same way it did against West Virginia that come to mind at all?
Well, I can't recall the exact situation. I think that happens all the time in sports. I mean, in golf, do you go out on the range and strike it really, really well, then you get on the golf course and somehow it doesn't translate? I mean, that happens. That's sports. But if you strike it really well on the range every day, there's a better chance you'll strike it on the course better, even though it's no guarantee. That's sports. I mean, and Dave played, so he knows. I mean, how many good practice days could you have on a Saturday lay an egg, or how many crap days can you have, and the next day, the quarterback and the running back's on point and you look pretty good. I mean, that happens all the time. So unfortunately, it shouldn't. But it did the other day. So, yes, there's been other times it's happened, and it could very easily happen again. But I'm a firm believer if you string and a large amount of good over not so good practice days, you'll have a much better chance to play well when you get to the. I actually think when we played North Carolina in the NCAA tournament in the finals, I actually thought we were playing good going into that first half. And we laid an egg. So, I mean, stuff like that happens. The problem is the reason why it happened was actually very low energy. That was, to me, was it.
Bill, for 15 to 20 years, whatever, I don't know that any team at this level had as much success on the road as your guys. That road dog mentality. Is it a mentality? Is it just the players that you had, and how do you get that instilled in these guys?
Well, the best home courts are the home courts where you have the best home team playing on it, players. The best way to win on the road is to have the best players playing on it. But to your point, there were years where we were, 7-2 or 8-1 in the league on the road, in a really good league. We obviously haven't been that but we haven't been as dominant a team the last 2 years as what we've been in other years too. So, but that doesn't mean we can't play to that level. But I actually think, Dave, to your point, I think is that you have to have that dog, tough, together, lack of a coach speak term, us against the world type mentality. On the road with this team, it may be even more important because we probably can't line up and just beat you because, you got Kansas on your chest. So if you have the best players and you have that mentality, then you're going to be pretty good. And that's what we've operated with a lot in the past. I think we got really good players. I don't think we have that mentality yet. So that's something that we have to do, wherever we play because the league's so good. But wherever we play, we have to have a mindset that we respect the situation, how other teams will be motivated to play against us, and the fact that we have proven to ourselves, multiple times now that being Kansas and showing up doesn't guarantee any success whatsoever. So that's the reality. That's always been the case, but I think we have to probably respect that and realize that more now that unless we are at a certain level, a magical type level, then our chance for success isn't quite as good as what it's been maybe in some other years.
And just a word about UCF, the game last year, the personnel that returns, and who they've added to.
Well, they've got 3 guys that are averaging 15, and their leading scorer is not playing but 2 games so far, and I think he scored 14 or 15 points in his first 2 games, so he's averaging 7. Sellers. So you've got 4 guys that are all capable of getting 20, at least. And you got a 7'2" big guy inside that blocks and alters as well as anybody in the country. I mean, he's good. He's a freshman, but he's averaging 4 blocks a game as a freshman. So yeah, they got a good team. They're better offensively than they were last year. Last year, I thought they were freakishly athletic as a unit, and this year they're very athletic as well. But I think they're more skilled than they were last year.
Going back to the road mindset, is that something that comes from you, the coaches? Does that come from the players? Where does establishing that us against the world mindset have to start?
I would say collectively with everybody. I mean, guys, I without being too philosophical here, you can look at a lot of things and you can say, well, they got to guard this differently. I could agree. You could say, well, they need to run something differently. I could agree. The thing that is misleading is the things that you run or the way that you guarded things, if it's done with a certain exuberance, still works. And mistakes are magnified by lack of energy, and mistakes are minimized by the presence of energy. To me, that's the bigger issue than the actual things that look like, oh my God. I mean, I'm watching it, oh my God, how'd we give up that layup? Oh my God. Well, yeah, we broke an assignment, but we break assignments all the time. And energy, it's like a pass rusher. The receivers are the same open when there's no rush as there is when there's a rush. The quarterback doesn't see or able to feel the receivers being open because he's worried about surviving. And that's not what we did the other day. Does that make sense to you a little bit? So that's what I think is the mindset from an energy standpoint is just we have to be better at that. And to be honest with you, I'm sounding negative now. I don't mean to sound negative. That's how I see it as a coach. I also see things that we can do better technique-wise, but it's hard to really evaluate technique totally if you don't really have the energy to really evaluate what's real or not real. So those are things that I think that you have to do home or away, and obviously we didn't do it the last game. We've done it in the 450 games or whatever it is since we've been here. We've done it, or no, we've been here more than 450 games. Of the 700 games almost since we've been here. We've done it 690, but we didn't do it the other day,
And to tie that into the Creighton and Missouri games,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that the energy you're talking about?
I thought I'm also screwed up on Tuesdays. Was it Tuesday? I thought Tuesdays was actually worse. I thought the play in the other two games and energy combined in the first half was awful. I thought Tuesday was worse. So.
What's the team mood after the game? You said they were down.
Yeah,
How's it now?
well, you can probably tell by my overly optimistic mood right now that the team is probably taking a little bit of its lead from that. But to Shay's point earlier, I thought yesterday was really good. It was 6 hours, basically. I thought it was good, but it wasn't 6 hours all standing and on the court. There was a lot of film work and that kind of stuff. And I told them, I said, even though you guys may not feel better, I feel a hell of a lot better. So so at least we got through that. So I actually thought that was good. And I also think some things differently than the way a lot of people may think about it from a coaching perspective. It's a long season, it's a grind, it's a process, all the coach speak things. But the bottom line is, I don't know that I've ever had a team that didn't go through some crap to actually get to where they wanted to go. In 2018, we had a pretty good team. We went to the Final Four, and we lost 3 games at home. Never done since I've been here. In 2022, we had a pretty good team, but we saw what a real team looked like at the end of January, a team that could win the national championship. And they lose in the first round, and we win a national championship. Sports is crazy. So the immediate feeling I have is I'm not happy, but I also understand that the way you feel today doesn't necessarily have to, in any way, shape, or form, reflect how you feel 2, 3, or 4 weeks from now. So maybe this will be a benefit to us. The question I would have to the guys, why would it be a benefit to us today if it wasn't a benefit to us 3 weeks ago? That's the question I have. So we have to change some things because let's just call it like it is. We're really good in November. We haven't been very good in December. Isn't that the truth? So we've got to find a way to get back to where we were and amp it up even more. And we can look at, well, we need this guy to do this or this guy to do that, or the coaches need to do this, or you know what we need to do is play with the passion and the energy and the enthusiasm that teams that love to play with. That to me is pretty simple. So and we didn't do that the other day, which ticks me off. Still upset about it. But that's not what bothers me the most. It bothers me the most that we didn't do it the other day after we didn't do it 3 weeks ago too. You see, you guys know where I'm. So we got to figure some stuff out and probably have some good, do better talks and some things that get to the root of the situation. Not that it's awful, but it's awful if you're wanting to play at the highest level of collegiate basketball.
You just remind them to get the swag back? How they
Yeah, that's all you got to do is remind somebody to do it, and then it automatically happens. It's amazing. Hey, there's dust that you can actually sprinkle on head these days that handles all that stuff. I think that's a good question, though, Gary. My personal opinion. Coaches' jobs to do everything they possibly can to do as you say. But there's a point in time where the ultimate responsibility also calls on individuals to give themselves the best chance to be able to play at the level and the confidence and the aggressiveness that you think the Magic Dust provides. I think it falls on both of us. I think it falls on the coaches, but I also think it falls, primarily on individuals as well.
Except for energy, what was the technical reason for the bad 20-point half? Is it just that no second chances? You were just shooting, missing? And
That's another great question. Doesn't energy create offensive rebounding? Doesn't energy create pace? Doesn't energy create how fast you run in transition? Doesn't energy dictate where you pick up and defensively? If the game plan is to make them feel us every possession, they never felt us the first half one time.
I don't think we asked you about it last time. So just what's the status of Zach with his groin injury?
It's not good. He's still not able to do anything. Whether or not or when he'll be back, I think is still up in the air. It's probably better than it was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, but it's still not close to the point where he could be out there in practice.
I think on Hot Talk, Coach said you had like a 6-hour practice. Was it long, and what was that like for you? I mean, have you seen a side of Coach that maybe you hadn't seen yet?
I'll say I'm definitely see more of the coach, since you've been recording me than now, but, it was tough, coming up and then just, practice to get better. That's like the build. We don't have to let that loss, affect us because we have many games coming up, so we just have to stay ready.
And can you just talk about your play against West Virginia? You got a chance to play a little bit more, and you took advantage of that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was exciting for me, obviously. They have a lot of rotation, so they put me on the guard sometime, and I was going to switch it back. Just like focus and do my best, use my quick feet. So that was about it.
Coach Self said it was probably the first time you'd had to guard the opposing team's point guard. Was that the case? And if so, what was that like?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely true. As I say, I knew my personnel. I knew it wasn't really kind of a shooter. So, just stay down my feet and make him drive me. That was actually the big. But, yeah, just stay down. I kind of use my quick feet against him. People may think that I was kind of slow, then the point guard would go run me. But I think I showed them that I can guard, 1 to 5.
And what did you think of your first experience at the Big 12?
I would say that's a different level, as Coach been saying, that's when the real game start, they've been, everybody's ready, and then when everybody play Kansas, they play the best game, so that's pretty good.
Flory, did you feel like that was your best game so far since you've been here?
To an extent, I say yeah. Obviously, I think I got more rebound for the team, protect the rim, and then those stuff really count for me. So I say, yeah.
Are there other games that come to mind when you think about other performances that are up there for you?
I'll say probably against Duke too. When Hunt got out, and I have to step up. Obviously, the team step up, but that was one of my favorite games also.
Flory, can you talk about what your responsibilities when Hunter is not in there, and then how does your responsibility change, when he's in and you're playing with him?
Yeah, obviously, I used to, sub for Hunt, but that time they put me and him on a game for a long time. So I would say that was pretty tough, and then I enjoy it because even though we were playing, I was still following what he was telling me, he was kind of direct me. CC been here for long, Hunt is a great player, You've been for college for long. So I was just kind of following what he was telling me to do so far. So.
What clicked about that lineup that did so well for the big comeback that you were in?
I feel like defensively, since we got high too, that really worked. Obviously, they put me on a small guard. I think it really helped our team because I couldn't cover some length, and with my size, get those rebounds and then even see guard on the perimeter.
Have the players met amongst themselves to talk about what's been going on?
We just, we got up with the team, talk about it, and then those responsibility that you have to do as a team, because that's now when the real game starts. So obviously we have to pay more attention and then be ready.
How tough will it be to go on the road after a loss?
Obviously, we just have to stay connected, stay ready. As I said, don't let that game, affect us, because there's a long road coming up. So we just have to stay ready and then show, our toughness to the road.
You mentioned knowing what the West Virginia guard was going to do. Is that something you knew about him going into the game? Was that something a coach talked to you about during a timeout? How'd you realize that?
So obviously, we have personnel, that's why it's better for you to know your personnel, even the one you're not guarding. Obviously, you have to know the other one personnel too. So coming out the game, obviously I knew that was a guard. It's pretty quick, but he wasn't really comfortable with shooting. His tank was like floater and stuff like that. So that's what I use, kind of close out, kind of late, make him think, make him feel me over there, and then just go along with him.
And for you guys, winning on the road, what are some things you feel like you have to do better to win in these true road environments?
Yes, I would say just coming up stronger. I can't take a game against Missouri. We came out really flat. We trying to come back after, even we trying to come out after. So basically, just coming up stronger. Makes the other team feel us, even though it's a road game. We just have to stay ready, because every team, when they play Kansas, they play their best game. So we have to be conscious of that and then just ready to fight back.